Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have a very special thing to say to all of you that when you are organizing an event, it is important to understand that you have to decide about how you will carry out the event much in advance. You need to do all the planning in advance because I will give you an example. I worked with ABP, Ananda Bachar Patrika, the Telegraph Group, in their event section for the past 15 years. I'm going to be starting work with them again this year. But then I have noticed one thing, the kind of professionalism they have towards the event has been very, very appreciative. Since 2005, I have been with them, and imagine the kind of professionalism they have at every step of the way is something that is worth noticing. When I started working with them, they were initially, they were also young at that point of time. They had just started with their events, and I was also like just a year old with them. And then gradually, as they grew in their business, I realized that they started getting more and more professional. They started getting more and more global. In the sense that when I will tell you some very some of the examples which I have while working with them, I've come across these beautiful stories. I'll tell you about this. So initially, the first thing that somebody from the company would do, and that was Raki, what she would do is she would contact me much ahead of time. Like say maybe if I have my event in December, she would call me up now in September or at the later part of August, and she would say that please block your dates for December. So she would have already made sure that I am mentally prepared that I am going to be doing an event in December, around the first week of December. So she's already preparing me. And then after that, she would, after a couple of months, like say as the event gets closer, she would call me up and she would ask me about my remuneration and the kind of fee that I would take for the event per day. Usually this event is for 3 days. So if I then they will say that on this particular year we paid you, last year we paid you this much, so this year we want to enhance it, we want to raise it to this level, are you okay with it? I have never been asked by anyone about my fee, and they would always give something that they considered as appropriate. But here was an organization which actually asked me whether I am okay with a little enhancement from last year. And I would say that of course I'm glad, I'm very happy, I'll be more than glad to get an enhanced remuneration. So that apart, then she would go on as I get closer to the event. Suppose it's in December first week, like around November, middle of November, she would call me up and she'd say, I hope you're ready, I hope you remember. She would give me a reminder again. And then she would say that I'm working on the script and I'm going to send it to you soon so that you can go through the script and you can find out whether you need to edit anything or you need to add something or there is some problem with the pronunciation of names and words and things like that. So she used to be well prepared ahead of that. Apart from the contact with me, she would be contacting other sponsors and the marketing section, the light section, the sound section. So that was again her work, and she used to do it very meticulously, one person at a time, one work at a time. So it was like I didn't have any problems at all. So finally when I was going to be traveling, like say suppose I was going to be traveling by the 1st of December, she would have already sent my tickets at least a week ahead and say that your tickets are ready, so this is how you'll be traveling. And then of course she would also ask me that I have done your tickets, I've done your flight tickets for this time, is it okay? Or do you want to come in the evening? Do you do you want to travel by the evening? She also gave me that choice. So the system was so flexible. I had so many choices that I really had this really excited feeling of working with them. This excitement was very palpable inside me, that I was very excited to work with them because everything was in place. And then again, what she would do is, as I reach that place, then she'd again give me a call. She'd say that once you check in to the hotel, and once you're done, please make sure you're fresh, you take some sleep, have some sleep and all that, and then after have some food, and then come back and just be able to sit down with the script and find out whether you are absolutely ready for the next day. So if it's next day, I would be traveling the previous day. And then after a point of rest, maybe after 2 hours or 2 or 3 hours, I'd go to her room, we'll sit down with the script, we will run through the entire script from the inaugural to the end of the first day. We would go through the entire script, and then she would again ask me, can you pronounce these words, the names of certain people which would seem difficult. So she would make sure that I could pronounce those names perfectly. Then again after that, I would go back, and again at night she would make sure that she gives me a call and she says, tomorrow morning the program starts at 9 a.m. I want you to be in the hall at 8:30. Please don't be late. And so I was mentally prepared that I would wake up at this time, dress up, have my breakfast and everything, and be in the hall by 8:30. So everything you see from point A to point B has been very meticulously planned by this one lady. And she is Raki Sri Elupeluma. And she has been doing massively well in this particular section. For 15 years I worked with her. No hitch, no glitches, nothing. The event has been flowing super well. This year also I'll be going in, and I hope and pray that the events that I'm looking forward to is going to be perfect and perfect to a T, and everything is going to go according to plans. Now, why I'm telling you this is because for every event, this meticulous planning is very, very important. Just because you want to have an event doesn't mean that you should just jump into an event and start working on it. Recently, I had done an event, and I found that there were so many problems in the event that it was actually it becomes very stressful for the anchor, because when things go smooth, when things are there's a backup team who's going to give me information, there are people who are going to give me the correct information, and everything goes according to plan. That is when the event can go very well. Otherwise, what happens is that by the end of the first day, I got very tired because I had to manage so many things. I had to manage the script, I had to manage who was going to speak when, then there was no information about the speakers, then there was a hodgepodge with who was going to come in, there were people who hadn't come in, the speakers were not present. So there has to be a good coordination amongst all the members of the team. If there is an event, there has to be a team, and each and every team member has to be delegated their work, so that the event goes seamlessly well, so that there is no hodgepodge, so that before every section starts, like say when I was having panel discussions, I had major problem running around trying to find information about different people. But this should not happen. What should happen is that the anchor, because she has a very it's a very hard work. To be an anchor is not easy. To moderate and go through the entire event from point A to point B, from morning to evening, like say I start at 10 o'clock and then I go until 7 o'clock. So in between, the support system has to be there. There has to be a very big support system, so that the anchor can go seamlessly and perform, because she is going to be on stage. She is the face that people are going to watch, and if she has a face which is drawn and strained and stressful and nervous, then the event falls apart. So it is pertinent that yes, of course, the anchor does a lot of hard work, has to do a lot of hard work, but then again, there has to be a backup. There has to be a support team. That this is the information, this is what's going to happen in the next session. The panelists are these people. This is the information of the panelists. Everything has to be meticulous when an event is being organized. Please understand this. So this goes out for all event organizers. Whoever is going to have an event, please make sure that you don't do everything alone. Make sure that you might be the organizer, but you should delegate your work to other people, so that the stress is not totally on you, so that you don't have to bear all the stress and the strain. What happens is that when the organizer starts getting stressed, then everybody else starts getting stressed at the same time, and that is not a very happy thing to happen in an event. Everybody needs to be happy. Nobody needs to be under strain when you're in an event, and it is the duty and the responsibility of the event managers to actually give the best to the anchor. The anchor needs to be cocooned in such a way, in a protective manner, so that she does not feel the stress and the strain. Everything, all information must be given to her, and she must have all the information at the tip of her fingers, so that she does not have to say, okay, now I am still not ready to start the program. It can't be like that. There has to be a team who's going to give her that this is what's going to we are going to start with the inaugural session. So the inaugural session, these are the people who are going to be present on the days, and since these are the people who are going to be on the days, if you need to speak about them, this is the information about each one of them. That information also has to be present. Who is going to light the lamp? There should not be a hodgepodge about who's going to light the lamp and all those kind of things. I remember at one point of time, this was something really scary, because the governor, His Excellency the Governor of Assam, was present. It was on Voters' Day, and it was this event was at Rabindra Bhavan. And the script was given to me by the district administration, I read out that now we are going to have the lighting of the lamp. And when I said that, the governor comes forward and finds that there is no lamp. Imagine the humiliation of the governor. He was very angry. He looked back at me. The kind of look he gave me was really scary, because this is where the event organizers have to be very careful. If it is given in the script that there has to be a lamp, then they have to arrange for the lamp anyhow, and then they can't put the blame on the anchor by saying that the anchor read out something which was not in the script. But then the script is yours. The script has been given by the district administration, so I can't be making up stories on my own. The anchor can never make up any stories on her own without the permission of the district administration or the organizers or whoever is responsible for the event. He or she cannot make up any stories of her own until and unless she has been instructed. Now, for this event that I'm talking about, I mentioned somebody who should not have been on the stage, but then there was somebody who came and told me that you are supposed to say that that person will go on stage. Okay, so I said it, I announced it, and then again somebody else comes and tells me that you were not supposed to say this name. Now, here is one instruction that I want to give to all anchors. Take all your directions from one person. Don't take it from 10 different persons. Take it from one person. This is what, in this entire hodgepodge, in this entire hurry-scurry that was happening during the event, what happened was, I took instructions from two different persons. And that is when, because they did not have any coordination between them, they did not have any talk between them, any discussion between them about who is going to be on stage, I had this problem that I spoke about somebody, but that person was not supposed to be on stage, but somebody else was supposed to be on stage. So this is what happens when there is no coordination, there is no meeting before the event starts, there is no backup team or no backup team for each and every section that is going to happen. Like after the inaugural session, maybe there's a panel discussion. So who is going to take care of that panel discussion? Who is responsible for that? It has to be very clear and it has to be very clear. For an event, you cannot have any kind of doubts that this person will speak or will not speak, and all those kind of or the compare or the announcer, whoever is going to be on stage, the entire blame is taken up by that person. But thankfully for this event, what happened was nobody could understand that there was so much of internal internal things happening, that I carried it off so well that nobody could even understand that there was a problem, or there were problems galore. Nobody could make out, because this is what comes when you get experienced, and you know that when people are not experienced, this is how I'm supposed to behave as an anchor. So I know exactly if what I have to do. If I know that event house is totally irresponsible, or does not have any responsibility, or does not have a plan, or does not have much to do with the entire event, then I have to take charge. And this is when the anchor has to take charge. You have to take charge of what is happening, because otherwise your entire event will fall apart and you will go home feeling a very sad person. Because for me, when I get on stage, that entire event is mine, and I take responsibility for that entire event, and I cannot tolerate any kind of hitch or glitch or any kind of things which go wrong during the event. And that is when my excitement about that program comes down, and then I go home feeling very sad and feeling very unsuccessful about the day. So I should not be feeling like that. If I don't want to feel unsuccessful or dejected or kind of unsuccessful is the word. If I don't want to feel like that, then I have to take responsibility for my own event, and that is what I do. That is what I always do. And when I know that the event house or the event manager or the organizers are not doing things according to my liking or according to my comfort, so then I start taking charge of the whole thing. So this is what I had to say. For all event houses, please plan much ahead. If you want a successful event to happen, I have done events for over 30 years, and I've seen how people work. They work on an ad hoc basis. They work without a plan. They work without having any kind of a blueprint. So it is important that every event house needs to have a blueprint before you start the event. It might be something as simple as Sangeet in a marriage, or it might be something as simple as Mehendi. It might be something even more important, like the Prime Minister visiting for a meeting, for an important meeting. Then also everything has to be perfect to a T. And for all event managers, please make it a point that your events are not just about making money, it is also about making memories and making stories. Thank you.